happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Game Podcast. I am joined by none other than the magnanimous Aaron Weeks. How's it going, buddy?
It's good, man. So, remember how last week I told you that story about the pixie stick man that I saw when I was driving around the other side of town?
Follow-up? Okay.
So this time I had to drive a little bit further. This had nothing to do with pixie stick man. I had to go to tiny town called MacArthur, which is like out past Hocking Hills, if you know where that is. Okay. So this was like an hour and 40 minutes each way for me.
That's a fun time.
This is the fucking boonies. Like, we grew up in a rural town, like, outside of Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
This makes that look like a fucking metropolis. Like,
this is where they filmed season 1 of True Detective.
These people still live in the 1900s. Like, they don't have internet. There was a legitimate fucking stagecoach, like, fucking just rusted out.
It's like Metamora.
You've never been to, like, Amish country, Ohio? Like, that's a thing. They have, like...
I've never been that deep into fucking, like... Yeah, this was a third world country inside of the United States.
It was to the west?
Like,
edge?
Almost near the border to West Virginia, like in Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, like, some of the borders, like, there's, like, Amish and, like, you know, like, there's, like, stagecoaches and stuff on the roads, and you have to, like, let them, like... I don't know what the rule is, but they all have yield signs on the back. Like, built into the stagecoach, and I'm like, okay.
Fucking...
I don't know if this is legal.
It wasn't a nice stagecoach. It wasn't like Amish country. This was, like, meth backwoods country. Like, I pulled down this road where the GPS just stopped showing roads, but there was still, like, a path for me to follow.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I got onto this gravel road, and I followed it down, and then eventually it just dead-ended, and my phone told me to keep going. And there was no way to turn around, so I just had to... drive backwards down this road to get out and just explore until I found where I was supposed to be going.
Why did you go down there?
Huh?
Why did you have to go down there?
That's just where my phone told me to... Oh, it was an appointment. So it was like for work.
Really?
I had to go there for work.
That's odd. Okay.
But... So anyway, I turn around, and then eventually I'm going down this like curvy country road, and I go past this one property that literally has a rusted out lawnmower on top of a pedestal with, like, a mannequin torso sitting in the seat of a lawnmower wearing a Batman costume. I am not making this up. And that's when I started getting, like, legitimately freaked out. I was like, where the fuck am I going? What's about to happen to me? Like, I was expecting dudes to run out of the forest, like in Red Dead, screaming
Is this
some weird shit.
Fallout 76 press event that I keep hearing about?
I think it might have been, dude.
That's good.
But fucking, the last thing that happened that really was like, alright, I'm never coming back here, was I turned down the road that I was supposed to be on, and I passed this, it was like this rundown house that had like a rebel flag in the window, and there was like a sign out front that said, non-typical taxidermy, with like a phone number, and it was on like a wooden sign that was like finger painted. It literally said non-typical taxidermy.
I'm
so
pretty sure
definitely stuffing humans at that fucking house.
This is like Hills Have Eyes type stuff right here.
Yeah, so that was my week last week.
Well, that's not too fun. And then I'm also joined by Mr. Blue Wave himself, David Morgan. How's it going, buddy?
We did it.
They're
still counting the votes.
We took back the house, and we're getting Senate seats. 2020, here we come.
We were down 3, but now we're only down like 1, right?
Senate. No, the Senate. They lost seats in the Senate, but that's because there's more Democrats running than Republicans.
Yeah.
But like there was 2 seats on election night in Arizona and Florida that they thought were going to be Republican that turned out to go Democrat. It's looking like definitely in Arizona, maybe in Florida they're doing a recount. But it's good times.
It's been real. I've been working a lot. I worked yesterday, so I'm a little bit tired. So I got my nice cup of Joe here. A good 11 a.m. cup of coffee.
Oh, David is okay. There he goes.
What happened?
You cut out for a second, but you're back.
Okay, it's all good. Sorry, I'm downloading. I should also mention Battlefield 5 for review today, but I can talk about it. There's no embargo, but I haven't played it, so I can't talk about it.
How's the review? How's the review screen?
It's good,
here's the situation.
Yep.
That I gotta lay on you guys. So I've been having a great relaxing week. I've been playing Fortnite on a regular basis. been getting really into it. And one of the topics of discussion that has come up that I have to ask Aaron about, David, I can't remember if you were there for this, is do you guys brush your teeth twice a day?
No.
Try to if I remember, but 9 times out of 10 is just in the morning, and then I forget at night.
That's what I was saying.
Almost always do that in the morning.
I do exactly the same thing. Caleb was throwing as much shade as possible at everyone that didn't brush their teeth twice.
He's always been a little crazy about his teeth.
I'm not
Good
about
for him,
it. I was
man. He's
just
got
curious.
nice
It's
I
was just
good.
curious.
I also haven't been to the dentist in like 2 years, so I should.
I went to the
probably-
dentist not too long ago. I need
Literally
probably
never
go
been
do
to the
that.
dentist once in my life, not a single time, not even
You
once.
should do that. You should
Hey,
definitely
well, if
do
he's
that.
making it, I should. Be
Not really something to brag about. Gotta be honest with you.
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying.
No,
that's
you're
my life.
over here. You got like the humble like smirk on your face. You're like, yeah, no,
That's
man.
how it is.
Not even once, dude.
Not even once. But this is a video game podcast. We got a decent slate of news for you this week. The first story comes from Kotaku and Cameron Kunzelman. Kunzelman? I don't know. And it's about everything that Xbox announced during XO18. This, if you don't know, is kind of Xbox's like answer to PSX, PlayStation experience that they have every year, but they're not having this year. So I'm just gonna read through these things. Stop when we care about news. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
regular
I'll
roll.
interject.
Well, do we want to just kind of like discuss the conference, like recap it, or do we literally want to like run through bullet by bullet and discuss each thing?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, unfortunately.
Yeah, did
you
you
guys-
watch it?
you
I
guys
didn't
both
watch it. I
watched
just
it.
watched bullet points.
Oh,
No,
I
sorry.
actually watched it.
Aaron,
It
what
was
did you
okay.
think of the
Cool.
conference?
Aaron, what
as
did
a
you think
whole?
about it generally? Yeah.
It was like the production was really cool. Like they had the like you can see in that image, the stage was like really fucking fancy for like this just not random but like small Xbox exclusive conference.
Like, it's
like
not
it's not really
E3.
what you'd expect. Like I expected a lot less, to be honest. But like it was weird because they had all this hype. They had people there cheering every time somebody was talking. Like the hype was like crazy. People were really excited to be there. But then the announcements were like it was just really flat. Like nothing crazy happened. Like there was some
Crackdown
cool
3
Crackdown stuff.
Exists.
They did this like fun thing with Larry Herb at the end. Like the production was really really good and it was presented really well. But like the things they presented, like fell really flat for me. Like none of it felt especially compelling or exciting. So it was weird to me that they went to all this effort to present these like kind of lackluster announcements, and a lot of the ones that should have been exciting, like Devil May Cry or Kingdom Hearts, were things that we've already seen, and the Kingdom Hearts footage was still garbage. So like they really went above and beyond to present information that wasn't great. Is
Okay.
how I feel about it
I think
overall.
they're just putting on a facade, like, look, we're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. We're doing our best. Did they
So-
even announce that they bought Obsidian?
Yeah, all right,
Yeah, they
so
did.
Let
That
me
was,
get
like,
into
the
the
big
actual
thing they did.
announcement.
Okay.
So
That would-
Microsoft Studios acquired Obsidian and In Exile Entertainment. Those, if you don't know, Obsidian made Prisoners of or what's it called, Exile or Eternity? I can't remember what it's called. Pillars of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity.
There you go.
Yeah.
They made that. In Exile made the like OG Fallout games, right? I'm not mistaken when I say that, right?
Obsidian?
No, I did Obsidian or In Exile. I thought In Exile.
Oh, sorry, I don't know. That's
Okay, I think they made like the OG Fallout games. So Microsoft purchased both of those. I assume they'll be working on some RPGs for the Xbox, which would make a lot of sense because that is something that platform has been lacking over the past. Basically this whole generation. I kind of felt like that was like the biggest announcement for sure because. Like, whereas, like, PlayStation, you can point to a Bloodborne or a Horizon as, like, great RPG exclusive experiences on that platform, Xbox doesn't really have that.
They pointed to, at one point during the conference, they pointed to Sea of Thieves as one of their best-selling franchises.
It's
And
not
it,
best-selling. It came with Game Pass.
No, they're not
I
even
mean-
counting Game Pass. They counted it as one
Oh.
of their best-selling franchises without Game Pass, and it tanked. It didn't do well at all. So what does that say about
I
the
know
rest
that
of
it
their
didn't do well.
Did it?
Did it?
No,
I
it
don't
didn't
know.
sell well.
I don't know. I feel like it charted on MPD that month it came out. Like, it was, like, up on the top. I feel like. I don't
Maybe
really
it
know.
didn't meet
Only
expectations,
games.
but they've outright said that like it didn't. It
Okay.
did not sell well. Well, I
Fair
don't
enough,
know.
fair
How,
enough.
I guess meet expectations is the way to say it.
Yeah, it not that. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. And they're going to, like, jerk off all their, like, new IP and shit like that.
Wait, and they had a lot of big Sea of Thieves announcements, I think is why they said it. But like when
Yeah.
they led into the Sea of Thieves thing, they were like, and one of our best-selling franchises this generation.
Yeah. Well, they haven't had that many, so, like.
Right.
It's
It
probably in
just
the top
felt kinda
5 because they've only had 5.
Yeah, it just felt kind of weird
Yeah,
because
it
like
was-
knowing that Sea of Thieves didn't do that well, it was just like.
So
ugh.
just to confirm, NPD did track it. It says it's the fastest-selling rare game ever tracked, and this does not include Game Pass. So this is only people who bought
That's what they
it.
said.
Yeah, but, like-
Fastest selling is how they said it. You're right.
Yeah,
It's
fastest
sold
selling.
fast, but like.
But, like,
it didn't
or-
sell
yeah.
much.
Well, I mean, the fastest selling rare game, like, what else does it have? Like,
Right. That's what I was getting at.
Pinata?
I was
Track,
misremembering the way
yeah,
they said it.
that's
So
What are they supposed to do?
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, Crackdown 3 got an official release date, releasing February 15th, 2019. And to go along with that, the original Crackdown is free on the Microsoft Store until November 30th, and they gave us a little like taste of what's going on with Crackdown. I think the game looks like not great, but
So
like,
I have a question about the gameplay in that. So did you watch any of the gameplay from the
I
PvP
watched
stuff?
it, yeah.
What the fuck is with the aiming? Because to me, it looks like as soon as you lock onto someone, it's a death sentence unless you turn around and kill the person that's shooting at you. Like, I don't understand the PvP in that.
What is it, like a lock-on
It
mode?
literally, you lock on through fucking buildings and cover even.
Oh, God,
like, I
what the
don't
fuck?
understand it. And your gun, like, when you start shooting, it starts out kind of slow and then speeds up until it eventually just, like, murders the person you're aiming at. I'm sure there's more to
Crackdown
it than,
3
like, what
looks-
I'm seeing, but, like, it looked really just... As soon as you spot somebody, they're dead.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't look good. I just don't think it like I'll be shocked if this game comes out and it gets like fucking critical praise like the
It
way
just
God of
doesn't
War
look-
did.
it
or
It
something
looks like a
that.
game that
competitive.
came out like at the mid like era of the Xbox 360. Like it doesn't look like a fucking game that's doing anything that it looks like antiquated in its gameplay, and then like the style of it is just so fucking soulless and bland. It's like
I think it looks cool, and I like the
I
destructible
don't know
environments
about
and the jetpack jumpy shit. I think looks really fun. Just the way that like the actual like gunplay looks to me is
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with it too is the gunplay, and like I do get like I don't think it's doing anything like crazy ambitious either. Like I completely get what David's
well the
saying.
cloud
with that.
destruction thing is pretty fun.
Yeah, but like I don't know.
is that even in the game though?
Yeah, for sure.
I thought they said they took that out because it wasn't working.
No, they talked about it at this conference.
Oh, did
that- Yeah, they were gonna. That's
Where are you
going to
seeing
be
this
in the game.
gameplay anyway? This new gameplay because I don't see it anywhere.
I don't know that it was new gameplay, but they showed it at the conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can.
It was like a pretty long segment. They showed it was the arena mode, I think, is what they called it.
Anyway, that's the Crackdown news. Going on for that, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds coming to Game Pass. That's cool. No one cares about that game anymore.
Dude, that game got everyone is so sour on that.
Also,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
the footage they showed the same footage from like fucking E3 or something like that? I feel like that exact.
I'm not sure. I didn't see that.
What,
It was like the same thing.
it was the same thing, but they added like the Game Pass sign at the end of it.
That's funny.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no one cares
Sorry, go
about
ahead.
PUBG.
No one cares about PUBG is what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. But.
Phil Spencer says there will be improvements to the Windows Store. I know you guys have had a lot of problems with the way the Windows Store works in regards to Game Pass and stuff, so hopefully that clears
I
up from
fucking
that.
have.
Not really.
It's garbage.
I didn't have problems. It was just like confusing and like really hard to actually find your way
that's
to what you're trying to
problems.
do. Yeah.
Going on, Hellblade is getting a physical edition and coming to Game Pass, which is cool. After they bought that studio, they announced that at E3 Ninja Theory. After that, Kingdom Hearts 3 got a weird fucking trailer. And what the fuck was that?
It wasn't even it was like the same shit
It
we
was
already
like-
saw, plus
it
some
was-
more Tangled.
Why did they insist on not putting the game effects in
Why
the-
do they insist on the audio being trash? Like,
That's
did
what
you
I'm
listen to it?
saying. Yeah, like they don't put the sound effects in it. It's so
It's-
weird.
Yeah, it's
Probably
fucking-
because it's all just Sora going like while he's swinging around, and nobody wants to hear that shit because it's all in Japanese. And that's
Well,
just
even the
how it
voiceover
is.
just felt off. Like it didn't seem like it was synced up properly. So it just the
It
whole
never
thing-
is. They're like going
It's
for some
so
kind of
weird.
abstracted like
It's like they're trying to make this game look shitty.
It's
like
like
if
they're
I
making
was-
like an art house film or something. I don't get it.
Anyone that has never played Kingdom Hearts and doesn't care about Kingdom Hearts is gonna like no one is gonna see that trailer and be like, yeah, I want to play that game because all of the trailers are garbage. Like, I'm buying it because I love Kingdom Hearts and I'm excited to
Yeah.
play Kingdom Hearts 3. I can't imagine that there's anyone out there that's like, yeah, that game looks cool.
The trailers make it feel like the video game attachment to like a DVD that you got in like 2004. You know what I'm saying? That's what the
A little
trailers
bit,
make
yeah.
it feel like.
demo discs.
Going on, they announced some more Square Enix related stuff. That all the Final Fantasies are coming to Xbox One, but not 8 because like 8 is like shafted all the time. It's fucked up. Because it's like they said all the Final Fantasies are coming 7, 9, 10, 10, 2, 13, 12, and they're making I think it's all the ones in that one package that they're doing.
Oh, yeah,
so,
6 is the best one.
Yeah, and then going forward, Final Fantasy 13 is going to be backwards compatible, all like parts of that series. Civilization 6, or it's called Revolution, or it's Civilization 6 though, right? Like I'm not mistaken. I don't actually know. But
I'm not sure.
I think it's just normal Civ 6. It's coming to Xbox. Sea of Thieves is getting a new game mode. called the Arena that pits crews against each other, so you can get the most treasure and therefore the most pirate glory. So who cares? State of Decay 2 is getting some new stuff. Just Cause 4 got a trailer. When's that coming out? Next month?
Just cause 4?
3, sorry. Or 4.
I think it is 4.
Yeah, it's 4. I don't
It's
know.
coming out
You freaked
next
me out.
month. It's like December 7th. It's that day that everything else is coming out. Yeah.
Okay. Devil May Cry 5 has a new mode that they showed for practice. I don't know
Actually,
why.
looks really cool.
Okay.
Looks like a arena that you can like set your own rules to, and like how many enemies and what they do, and
It's kind of like the
how much
loading
damage
screens from
they do.
Bayonetta, but like more.
Like you can make your own game mode, basically. That's kind of cool.
I'm so fucking hyped for that. I just wish that they had shown a little bit more. The Devil Bringer stuff that you can do with Nero looks really cool.
I'm just scared about the DLC, but I'm sure.
Cats and pandas are coming to Minecraft, so that's cool. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is getting some more tunes. That's cool. That's like one of the best parts of the game. A bunch of mouse and keyboard support for Xbox, and then I think
really? That's weird.
Yeah.
I
What?
think that's gonna be like allowed cross like games that have like multiplayer.
It's on Fortnite, yeah. But I mean,
They
they
said
play you in.
when they announced
Epic
it,
is doing something that. What'd you say, Aaron? Sorry.
they're gonna include like a matchmaking feature so that people with the mouse that are playing with a mouse and keyboard, they're gonna try and match them up with
Yeah.
other people using a mouse and keyboard.
So I can go over. It's Bomber Crew, Warface, Children of Morta, Minion Master, DayZ, Warframe, Strange Brigade, Deep Rock Galactic, Warhammer, Vermintide 2, Moonlighter,
Hold up, Deep Rock
Warcraft.
Galactic. What did they say about Deep Rock Galactic?
It's mouse and keyboard. I was just telling you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were like running through announcements or something.
No. War Thunder, X More than Fortnite are all getting that. It'll be available tomorrow or the day after, Wednesday.
Sweet.
And then Forza Horizon 4 has a new expansion coming out later this year. A bunch of games got put into Xbox Game Pass, including Hellblade. Void Bastards is one of the newer announcement games that they put out.
That game looks really good.
That's like the
Void
cell shaded
Bastards?
thing, right?
That game looks really
It looks okay.
good. Also, it's being directed by one of the gameplay design directors for BioShock, like the
Yeah.
original BioShock.
Yeah, one of the.
The game looks fucking up my alley. Like, I am unreasonably excited about this thing in particular, as I want to do for most weird things that I see at these.
Ori and Ori 2 are all both going to be on there, and Tom's is also going to be on there. Then the biggest thing, I don't know, maybe not the biggest thing, they announced something called Winter of Arcade, which is a throwback to Summer of Arcade on Xbox later this year. I think that's an interesting step that they're doing to, like, because I feel like this generation they've kind of gone away from the indies, and PlayStation has more so been the like more indie friendly of the two consoles. So that'll be a cool move to see them get back to their roots, because Summer of Arcade was awesome, and we got cool games like Shadow Complex and Limbo and shit like that.
Thief of Thieves looks cool too. I think the title's kind of annoying, but
Terrible title.
yeah.
What is it?
Thief of Thieves? That's a terrible title.
Oh, God.
The game itself looked cool though.
How many of Thieves games is Microsoft going to have in their wheelhouse?
One.
I don't know.
Long
I don't know.
pause.
I was letting Aaron gonna answer. I have to pee, so I'm gonna go pee.
Are we pausing?
Pressing. This is pressing. No, you guys are gonna vamp. So what we're gonna do,
No,
audience,
Jesus
is they're gonna
Christ.
vamp. They're gonna talk about.
Do you want to talk about 8.1, David?
Yeah, why don't you tell me about 8.1?
There you go. You go ahead.
Because as far as I heard, that game is trash now and everyone hates it.
Oh, it's not good. The Azerite system like straight up ruined it. Like fucking. I don't play
They
my
kinda
main
just
character.
get rid of Azerite? Because that would make everybody
No, they're not. They're for sure not. They're doubling down on it, but like they're trying to make it better. They're adding another ring, which is going to add a little bit more customization. But the problem is still that reforging costs are fucking astronomical. So if you have more than one spec, which everyone does, then you're spending shit tons of money to constantly reforge this fucking gear. It literally it's just depth for depth's sake, and it's not good. It doesn't add anything.
No, it's just
constructive,
confusing and
yeah.
not fun to do.
It's a terrible system. It's like they took artifact weapons and were like, how can we make this worse? And artifact weapons weren't great to begin with.
So what's happening in 8.1 that's supposed to make people happier then?
Well, in 8.1, they're adding a lot of like catch-up mechanics. I don't know if they're adding, but maybe improving the catch-up mechanics for Azerite, so it's like easier to get Azerite. And then they also like decrease the experience requirements to level up. So if you have ults that you want to catch up to actually like be viable at endgame, then it's a lot easier to do.
Okay.
It's easier to get Azurite gear. I think they're adding something called, it's like, you remember the Legion invasions when Legion launched?
Yes, yeah, I do.
So
Those were cool.
They're adding those, but it's I can't remember. It's like faction incursions, I think they're called, where basically the enemy faction will attack just like a Legion invasion, and you can go fight them off for rewards, and that's going to be a great way to level up characters, get decent gear. It's going to be just like doing world quests probably. They're just adding a lot of like fun things and like some quality of life improvements. The biggest changes are going to be to leveling. They're adding like what was it?
Holy shit. I'm reading here that 20 to 80 now takes 11 hours. 20 to 80 for me took like 40 fucking hours when I did it. Before they fixed this and everything was really slow. I remember levels from 60 to 80 took about an hour and a half.
If you look at the breakdown of the percentages, 60 to 80 has the like by far the largest margin, and then it starts to taper back off.
Oh my god!
Because
so much time just gone.
I've been working on a Horde character because like they're released in 8.1. They're also releasing Heritage armor sets for Blood Elves and Dwarves.
Okay.
So I want the
nice.
Blood Elf Heritage armor set. So I'm leveling a Blood Elf just to have a 120 Blood Elf. And I just hit 80 right when they announced that they were decreasing the experience requirements.
So how fucking hard is it now to get the Dark Irons unlocked with the 7th Legion rep? Because that shit was.
I think it's impossible because I will literally never. You have to complete the war campaign, which requires 7th Legion rep if you're Alliance, and I will fucking never be exalted with them because I refuse to grind out world quests. Like
That's
literally
garbage. Like how do they fuck up? Like it was like the rep shit was like perfect in Legion. Where, like, it took a while, but, like, if you just played the game and did your, like, world quests, you would get it.
Well, that's how it is now,
7th
too.
Legion, you have to be, like, on a 12-hour cycle every day, like, doing every single world quest, and then, like, within 3 weeks or something, you'll get Exalted. I'm like, fuck this. Like,
it's not even 3 weeks. Like, well, I mean, I didn't do as much as I could have, but, like, I did every time the way I was doing it was I was doing all of the, like, war table missions that gave me 7th Legion rep, and then I would do the Emissary when I got the 7th Legion Emissary, which was taking so long that eventually I just kind of stopped playing that character, which isn't a reflection on that system. It's just I got bored.
They're fucking too long. I just want a Dark Iron. Like, god damn it. I would play the game if I could be a Dark Iron dwarf.
Well, and it sucks, too, because there's a lot of narrative content that you're missing by not completing the war campaign. Like, most of that expansion's, like, compelling lore and narrative is in the war campaign, and if you don't finish it, you're just not experiencing any of that, and because you're not grinding out this fucking stupid rep, you're never going to get there.
I'm just like frustrated with this whole. I think this is the worst expansion next to WoD. Like
I like it a
them
lot better
equally
than
bad.
Warlords, but like it's as far as content, I think it's definitely down there.
I think questing in Warlords was better,
and
and the raid was better.
1000% disagree. The raid, maybe
No.
I didn't do the raid, but the world
Questing in
content.
this feels like fucking Burning Crusade era. Like, go get these many things from these mobs. Like, there's so many of those quests. At least in Warlords, it was like, hey, go like pour like this weird gunpowder. Go do these like interesting quest objectives that aren't just kill shit. Like, and I feel like
You're
Battle for
thinking
Azeroth
about
is
the
a
most
step back.
engaging part of Warlords, which is the beginning. After that, it's fucking trash. Warlords had the biggest content drought of any expansion. That's why everybody
The
hates
content drought isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 0.0 content out of the gate. Like, what was there? Like,
BFA has more of that than any other expansion, I think. When you
it
right
has
out of the
more,
gate,
but is more better in this case? Like when it's
that's
so,
what
like,
you were just saying about Warlords.
grindy and trash. No, I'm not. I'm saying that Warlords content was higher quality, even though there
It
was
wasn't
less of it.
though.
I think it
Tanan
was.
sucked dick. Like once you started that chain, you were stuck there until you were done with it, and it was boring. And you had to do the exact
but,
same
like,
thing every time.
You know what else sucks dick is all of the Alliance quests that takes place on.
The questing in
fucking
BFA
place.
was better than any expansion to date.
I just don't like these like little half-baked like Warfront like quests that try to send you to the other continent, but are ultimately just like not fun. Like,
I agree with that, but
To-
you're comparing beginning of WoD to end of BFA, and it doesn't like you're jumping all over the place as far as the timing. Like
no, I think that the Battle for Azeroth leveling experience, like the narrative and like the theming and aesthetic was really cool, but the quest content and objectives themselves, I feel like are worse than they were in warlords.
At
That's
endgame,
what I'm
maybe,
saying.
but like when you're actually questing from what was it, 110 to 120?
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying the questing at the beginning of the expansion.
It was the best it's ever
objectives
been.
and
I
variety.
do not agree on that.
I think Legion was better.
Because you don't have to go to the other
disagree.
continent until you hit 120, and I didn't. Like, I didn't start doing the other
The
continent shit.
questing was in battle was such a fucking like. It was a slog in the fact that like shit you got weaker as you leveled up.
That was
and
shitty.
like
that I
drop
agree.
rates were garbage.
Also,
like,
when
that
you
is,
level
like,
up from
unforgivable.
110 to 120, you don't get any new abilities. There's no incentive to
Like
level.
how is
You
that
just
better
lose
than
power.
any other expansion? Like that felt
The questing
garbage.
content was better, I thought. But yeah, the
I don't
overall
even know.
feel of like the
Maybe
way
that's what I'm like trying to get to because like something about it just I did not enjoy. Maybe that was it. Was the fact that yes, you literally got weaker.
Yeah.
We can drop this and move on with the podcast. CJ's been
You're
back
fine. It's
with
I'm
his
just
precious
chilling.
dog for quite a while,
I'm just chilling, man.
and we
Take
can
your
we can continue our discussion
You want to do? I mean,
on
all
other
right.
topics.
All right, Katie,
the
you
state
gotta
of
go.
WoW, dude.
You
The
gotta go.
state of World of Warcraft
You
is
can lay in the bed
they're
back
bleeding
there.
subs.
Anyway,
I need to play some shit fast.
some more
Alright, moving on.
news. There was another live stream this week from Square Enix, and this comes from The Verge and Sam Byford. It's about Final Fantasy 15. They announced that they were having a special program with exciting news for the upcoming Final Fantasy 15 content. But
Wow, really?
But in an incredible plot twist worthy of the series itself, the news turned out to be inconceivably terrible. All of the DLC
no.
has been canceled for the game, and the game's director, Tabata-san, has left the company altogether,
God damn it.
which is hilarious.
Imagine if they were like, hey, we're doing one more Smash Direct before the game comes out. And then they were like, the game is canceled, and Sakurai is leaving the company
It's over,
forever.
yeah.
Like,
That'd be hilarious.
Jesus Christ. Like,
Uh,
what a twist.
Square Enix flow of 4 DLCs centered on the characters Eridin, Erine, Luna Freya, and Noctis. How did I do on those names, Aaron?
Arden, Aranea were the two that you butchered.
Did
The other
did
ones were fine.
All right. Okay. Cool. Instead, there'll be a collaboration event with Final Fantasy XIV next month, and the Comrades multiplayer mode will be spun out into its own standalone game on PS4 and Xbox One. The bigger news, because like we all like various degrees of Final Fantasy 15. Like I don't think any of us like. I think Aaron liked it.
I loved it. I played the shit out of it. I like pretty much mainlined it until I was done with it.
Yeah. But the bigger news here is about Tabata leaving so I'm just going to read this. Tabata's departure is particularly surprising because he recently set up and took control of a new studio within Square Enix, Luminous Productions. Final Fantasy 15 went through blah, blah, blah. Tabata said, in regards to my next endeavors in the near future, I have a project that I truly wish to solidify as my next challenge after Final Fantasy 15. For that reason, I have decided to leave my current position and start my own business in order to achieve my goal. As production of episode Arden,
Arden, I think.
Arden. Okay.
Dude, this
Continues.
is like Kojima Light. I feel like it's that all over.
Okay,
again.
that's what I want to ask. What's the sitch with this?
I mean, I don't know the exact. Obviously, like we don't know the circumstances behind him leaving, but this feels like another Kojima thing. He's like, you know, what,
Okay.
fuck this. I want my own
They were
creative
probably
freedom. I
just
want my own studio.
pigeonholing him and pushing him too hard on this one project, and he was like, I really want to do something else.
He's
and
like,
then
yeah, I'm
just
done
left.
with 15. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go off on
Yeah,
my
I
own.
think that's pretty much all there is to that. And I'm excited to see what he does because like Final Fantasy 15 is like it's just
an
a
incredible
fucking mess.
game.
Like it's an incredible mess.
It's a fantastic it's like looking at, it's not like quite as bad as like looking at a car wreck on the side of the road, but like it's interesting. But like there's like clearly parts of that game are like don't fit. It's like
There was
puzzle.
a lot there. It had so much potential. It just like
Yeah.
fucking, and it got better over time. Though I can't remember what it's called. It's like the King's Masterpiece edition.
King's Guard or whatever. Is that
Yeah, I don't know,
Still
but
haven't
that
played it.
version
I
of
was
the
waiting for it to
game
be
was like
finished, but I
that
still
was
don't think it is.
the finished version that had like all of the story beats that they added after the game was actually
Okay.
released. And I played it
Not-
when it was at its shittiest, and I loved it.
Not to mention, there's like an anime that like you don't have to watch it, but like it has like real content in it, like alongside
The
it.
story when I played it, the
Kingsglaive,
story
that's what it
was very, very, very hard to follow and understand, and I just didn't
Yeah.
care because I was having so much fun with the game. Like,
Yeah.
if it had really realized its potential, I think this would have been one of the best Final Fantasies ever.
Yeah, but I think this is all interesting. I'm excited to see because he was the one kind of credited with getting it out of development hell and like giving it some sort of vision with as to what it was gonna be in the future. So I think it's good that He's gonna be able to go off by himself. It's good to see.
Hopefully these guys set some examples for really creative.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's good to see that
mindset.
Japanese like kind of structure of like working for like one of the like 4 companies over there: Capcom, Square, Sony, and Nintendo.
Konami.
I guess Konami, but to a lesser extent now.
Oh, did you see the quick side thing? Did you see?
But branch away into more like independent ventures. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
what did I say?
No.
Sorry.
Did you see that you can get a fucking the like Mega Man Buster in Devil May Cry?
No, that's.
Oh,
Cool
I
though.
did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Capcom's really good about that. Goofy
That's
shit.
synergy.
Yeah.
I love 'em.
Synergy. That's it for that story. This next story is about Destiny 2. We haven't talked about that in a while. And apparently it didn't live up to sales expectations, according to Activision. I'm going to read the original story, then there's a follow-up from Luke Smith, the director of the game, or the PR director of the game, who talked about how they felt about Destiny Forsaken 2. Or Destiny 2 Forsaken. So, in a dramatic improvement, or Destiny 2 Forsaken is a dramatic improvement from the base game, just about every way. But not according to Activision COO Cody Johnson. In an earnings call, he had this to say: "We have not seen the full core re-engagement in Destiny, which has kind of led to the underperformance against our expectations to date." He went on to say some other things about Destiny, about how basically it's not bringing back enough players, kind of like how Taken King did in the first one.
It's because they couldn't fucking commit until it was too late to how they wanted to design the game.
Pretty much. And then that goes on to, then this is the update to the story after he said that, and they got picked up in the news a little bit. A day later, Luke Smith tweeted out, he's the director of the game, tweeted out, "We are not disappointed with Forsaken. We set out to build a game that Destiny players will love, and Destiny players will love, and at Bungie we love it too. Building Destiny for players who love it will remain our focus going forward." So I don't want to say you guys have fallen off Destiny, because David, you were just saying before we got on here, you've been playing a little bit
Still
more
fun.
Destiny, but I feel like, I don't know, the hype died down around Forsaken for sure.
Of course, I mean these games can't stay in the zeitgeist forever. The community eventually settles, and then you kind of build your little niche, and you go to the subreddit and see what people are doing, see what the new event is. Like, WoW isn't constantly being talked about, and it's the most popular MMO around. Like, because essentially what happens is when there's a new content release, you know, people freak out. It's great. Obviously, PR is booming, but like it's hard to keep that going with anything. Like, nobody's really talking about like God of War right now, but we all still know it's a great game.
Yeah, but it's a
Destiny-
little, like, God of War is a little different, to be totally honest.
I know it's not a game of service. I understand, but like,
And honestly, I feel like I see more stories about God of War than I see about Destiny.
I don't
like,
feel
even
that way,
now,
but I don't
like-
go to
Probably
that.
now because we're approaching like Game of the Year conversations.
I mean,
so,
but
God
like
of War's
still,
gonna-
like I don't know.
It doesn't. A game doesn't need to be in the public eye to be like successful in my eyes, especially a game like that's.
I mean, games as a service.
I mean, I feel like a game like Destiny kind of does.
I mean,
I feel like I
Player
hear about
base is
Destiny just right now. I feel like I hear about Destiny just as much as I hear about Monster Hunter.
okay.
No, I hear about
mean,
Destiny all the time because of shit like this. People like, especially when Forsaken came out, it was like everybody's, oh man, Destiny's back. Destiny's the way it should be.
Like they had that big Halloween event, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And then like, right now they have the Black Armory coming out soon, so that'll generate some buzz. I mean, it doesn't. You're right.
I mean,
like,
maybe I'm not like I also don't play Destiny like since like the vanilla version, so or Destiny 2 since the vanilla version, so like
my
I don't.
SEO on like
Yeah.
Google and shit is always recommending like Destiny stories, so that's why I see it.
I think
But,
I
like,
probably hear about it. Like Caleb is kind of our like.
Like even Caleb,
Yeah.
I don't hear talking about it that much. Like he talks way more about Fortnite nowadays than Red Dead.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, I totally understand, and like, it's hard to keep the content flowing, but I feel like this is the best job they've done in a long time. As far as like little updates that add like real meaningful ways to jump back in, like the Haunted Forest event was fucking awesome. Like that was a really smart use of things that they already had in the game, and they repurposed it into something fun and compelling and like rewarding to do. So I am hopeful that the Black Armory, that's going to be the real, like, when the Black Armory comes out, if that isn't good, that is going to be the real test, because they've done this before with the Taken King. They have one good, they need to have a streak of good content instead of just the one-off and then, we'll see you in a year and maybe we'll release something worthwhile.
So maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I feel like this is the first, like, kind of very, like, much more public shot that, like, if there is a Destiny 3, I don't know if, like, Bungie's going to develop it, to be be totally honest. Like I
I
feel like
totally-
they very much like Activision and Bungie are like not on good terms right now.
They
And, like,
haven't been ever though. Like when have
Yeah,
they
but,
ever
like,
been?
it's never been like literally like in an earnings call they're like, hey, this game like they didn't say it flopped, but they're like, this is not doing too well. And then Bungie like comes back out and claps back on Twitter like, nah, we're happy with what we did.
Like I don't.
Like,
Yeah, you're
they're-
right. It's definitely
so-
a public feud now.
What
but-
they're doing is trying to. They lost a lot of the hardcore players or whatever when they went to Destiny 2 because they changed it to be more accessible to like your average person, someone who doesn't have a lot of time to commit. And then they lost the hardcore player base, and they try to bring them back with Forsaken, but it's too little, too late. Like the hardcore player base is already gone and doing other things. They brought back some, I'm sure, but and I think now they're trying to double down on that. They're saying the player base that we want is the ones that really care about Destiny and want to keep playing it day in and day out. But like I said, it's too little, too late. Like you can't have a game and then like with Destiny 1 expect, you know what, like this didn't
Sure
Oh,
go well.
you
Let's
can.
release
World
Taken
of
King.
Warcraft does it all the time.
I mean, I guess I don't know that it's fair to make that just because like WoW changes with each expansion. Like the core of the game is completely different with each expansion.
I don't think that's true at all.
I think it changes.
The game
All
has
the
been
talent builds
very
have changed
formulaic.
every expansion. Like the way your character plays is inherently different with every expansion.
Sure, but like the yeah, okay, I guess I could see that. But Destiny, like, I guess Destiny has more competition directly too, which is a little unfair. World of Warcraft, like, what are you gonna go play fucking Final Fantasy 14? Like that's your
I mean, that's like a
your
decent
option.
MMO, but
I know, but like you have two options basically, and if you're not into like,
I mean, Guild Wars still has a solid community. Fucking what's the other one?
Final Fantasy, or you said that.
Final Fantasy, Guild Wars.
There's one more that I'm trying to think of. Fucking goddamn it. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 for sure.
there are
RuneScape.
more games as service. I think that the bar in quality or like similarity between those games is higher than something like a Destiny versus like a Division, and then like you have all these other, you have like Anthem coming out soon and Division 2 coming out.
Dude, I'm way more hyped.
Well, I'm
for
just
Division
saying
than
they're
Anthem.
fucking like.
I just thought about that.
I'm hyped
their
for
whole-
both. I love these games. They're great.
I'm excited for the Division 2, but their whole thing is like they drop the ball in a big way when the game launches, and it's like they don't start really like focusing on what they want until the final expansion or the final DLC.
The
And
like
then by
major
then it's too
DLC
late.
in the middle of its lifetime.
I was happy to think that like Activision is going to start monetizing this way more. The Eververse is going to be like the main game mechanic, and then like to see Luke Smith come out and be like, "Nah, we're good." Like that was like great as like somebody who likes the game, but like I don't know how this is sustainable if they're not selling content.
I think they
Like,
finally realized what they want out of Destiny, and like they found a place where they want to. They found the mechanics they want to build upon, and they're gonna take that and move forward, hopefully into Destiny 3 or what if there's gonna be another big expansion.
I wouldn't be shocked if they do like another expansion. Like they come out and announce. Like I don't know if there's like already a planned expansion announced, but like if something like came out like, hey, we're honored at Bungie to be working on this expansion with other studio Activision owns as they try to slowly shuffle them out. I'll be totally honest with you guys.
No.
I'm like,
What I
not
think is going to
gonna be
happen
surprised
is
if
it's
that
too
happens.
late for Destiny 2. They'll release this annual pass content, and then they'll just make it. They probably won't even call it. I mean, maybe they'll just call it Destiny 3. But like, you can't. It's harder to pull someone who was burned by a game back into the same game. But I think it's a lot easier to be like,
When you have a
Destiny
clean
3
slate.
is actually different. It's not just Destiny 1, 2. Like that's what Destiny 2 was. It was just more Destiny 1. They need something that's like, wow, it looks different. Okay, it plays. There's a new class. Like they need some big, and then they need to take everything that they learned, actually take it this time, and put it in the game.
Instead
and,
of
like,
tanking, like fucking.
instead of just fucking it all up and then starting again. Like it's so.
The problem they have now too isn't just bringing the hardcore players back. It's like because of their constant flip flopping, like who they're trying to market to. It's like when you release Forsaken, you also lost a lot of the casual people that don't want to grind every day to do. Like I played Forsaken for maybe a week or two and then stopped because like I fucking hate the new,
Either way,
like,
you're
planetary
gonna.
material shit.
Well, here's the thing with that is either way you have so you have two options. You make it for the hardcore and you make it really long term, or you don't and you make it really easy to reach very late game stuff. So if you take the first one, you take it like that, and me and you, people who don't grind every day, kind of fall off after like a few weeks, and then the hardcore people keep playing. You do it the other way and you make it really easy to reach endgame, and we get light level caps. We do the raid once and then we drop off after a couple of weeks, and so does everyone else. So it seems a lot more obvious to do it the other way, because at least then the people who are really going to commit are still there and they aren't just bored.
Well,
Like, we're gonna drop off either way.
But
so,
the what you have to balance that with is like Activision like wants to make money obviously off this game, and the easiest way to make money is to get the most people in to then spend money on
At the ground level.
on the ground level. And if your game already has a reputation of like, well, it gets good in 75 hours, or like there's great ending content if you play it every single day, like maybe they don't join as much like into the game and like foster that microtransactions.
Well, that was the whole idea of the beginning of Destiny 2, and they did a great job of getting people in at the ground level, and then they just
didn't make that
all up.
transition really good. Yeah.
No, they should have kept it the way it was, but then made the end game content not garbage. Like I don't know, like you have to have
First
both.
Raid was good.
Yeah, it was, but then like
we couldn't
all
beat
the
it.
DLC
That's
was
great.
garbo. Like the Forsaken is like they've nailed the balance between accessible and long-term grinding, because you have to have both. Accessible, sorry, accessible. And what they need to do now is take that core gameplay philosophy and then front load it with like a really good campaign, which I think Forsaken had a really good. Forsaken as a whole could have been Destiny 2 and it would have been great. Like, but they just put it into a game that people already had a negative stigma against and expected them to come back, and that's not how it works. So they've got the flow down, I think, perfectly, because the campaign was great, end game content's there, and they're still adding stuff. Now they need to just take this and just start over and it sucks, and nobody wants to do that. But like in the sequel, if there is one,
If only there was like some way they could really rebrand it by like shifting the developers.
I also think we're like looking a little bit too far into like didn't meet expectations. Like I don't think Activision's gonna abandon Destiny. Like I don't
think they're gonna abandon Destiny at all. I think they're gonna abandon Bungie.
If anyone else develops Destiny, it'll suck.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but I 100% think Destiny or Bungie at some point in Destiny's life cycle, they might do the third one, and that'll be their trilogy, and then they move it on or something like that.
There's for sure going to be a Destiny 3.
Bungie will not forever indefinitely develop Destiny, and they will split away from Activision. And some point in the next like console generation will happen, 100%.
I hope they do split away and then make what they want to make, because I think that the reason Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 launched with big problems was Activision's like poor
heavy hand
management and heavy-handed like control of their narrative, where they were like, hey, rewrite the whole game. Like that happened again in Destiny 2. They had to rewrite the whole game basically because like the shareholders weren't fucking happy with it. Like it sucks. Activision honestly ruins everything, and they will also ruin Sekiro, and you can't convince me otherwise. That reminds me. We should talk about that other thing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Bloodborne 2 is in Sekiro or in Deracine. No, I don't care.
But do you know how it got hinted at?
I really don't know.
I don't. I would like to know, but if we need to move on, that's fine.
Well, do we? It's only... Come on.
Let me
do
ahead.
This for 5 minutes. All right. I learned about this. I'm basically taking this from the Easy Allies podcast. That's how I learned about it. But it's all in the game. So the VR game made by From Software, directed by Miyazaki, was put out on PlayStation VR recently. So in the game, there's a doll that you find. And let me just look up the exact description so I don't get this wrong. When
Doesn't
you pick
the
up
building
the doll,
kind of look like the Hunter's Workshop too?
you can see it, and like all the font is the same as Bloodborne, all that stuff. So I'm gonna look this up exactly what it says. But you pick up the doll and it moves, right? And it's like, oh, it's kind of creepy, but it does the like make contact thing like this. And then if you hold it there for a second, it goes like this. And on the doll it says something about... It says, a doll of a stone girl Fiona who appears in an unfinished tale. When a person has a bad dream, Fiona appears and helps them flee. So that's the description of the doll when you pick it up. An unfinished tale. And then you find another doll later in the game, and it looks pretty similar. And this one says... Let me see here. Oh, I don't have the description. But it also says the unfinished tale. And it talks about dreams, and it does the make contact thing. So it's kind of like it's either that it's in development or that Miyazaki wants to develop a new Bloodborne game.
What if Deracine is just the world's most elaborate trailer? Like it's literally just
like
their
PT.
way of announcing fucking I guess. I
mean, like that's the way to do it, right? Like
that's a cool way to announce something, yeah, for sure.
It's supposed to not be that great. Like people are kind of I don't really know anything about it, but the reviews weren't amazing. But I mean, it's cool. It's like their first VR attempt and whatever.
Yeah.
There's like a book, and it's called Blood and Bones, and it basically has a hunter on the front of it. I think this is great news. Bloodborne's my favorite game, so I just had to like throw it in here. But for him to say, for Miyazaki to say, hey, we're moving away from the Dark Souls formula, and then make Sekiro, maybe afterwards he'll just be like, I'm going back and I'm making Bloodborne again. Like, I'd be okay with that. I think it'll be a PlayStation 5 either launch title or very close to launch.
It would be sad to me to see them let Bloodborne go, just because I feel like that was peak, like, Souls.
Miyazaki hasn't directed a direct
fucking love
sequel like
Bloodborne.
that. Like, the reason that Dark Souls 2 was received so poorly is because he didn't have his hands in it.
Dark Souls 2 was not received poorly. The community didn't love it, like, over time, but, like, on release, it was, like, loved.
I think that was hype, though. Honestly.
I mean, I'm just, like, I don't know if it's hype or not. Like,
I know
look
you're
at its
right.
Metacritic score.
It has the best reviews of any Dark Souls game.
But, like,
It
when
has,
you
like,
said it was, like,
mind-blowing.
yeah.
Dark Souls
the
2 has its moments. Like, it has good parts. Like, it's worth playing. It's just not as good as the others.
It's so fucking ugly, though.
Dude, Majula was, like, the best. That fucking town is so cool.
It feels, like, bad to play, in my opinion.
I liked it.
Bloodborne, you can tell, is, like, Miyazaki's baby. He put, I think, everything he had.
Miyazaki's baby is a Vita game.
Is it? That's fun. Is it
No,
Bloodborne?
it's called Miyazaki's baby, but it's a joke.
I think for him to make another Bloodborne, I hope it's not like Bloodborne 2, and I hope he calls it something else. With Bloodborne in the title, but maybe a different subtitle. Like, I want to explore the lore of that game. I think it has the what? Bloodbirth. Fuck you.
We got aired.
I don't know. That was just a fun thing that I wanted to point out, and I think it'll be exciting to see how that develops.
For sure. But that's it for the news of the week. That brings us to the games coming out this week. It's a big week for AAA games. The first of which is the remaster of Spyro. So that's coming out.
That's out this week? Damn.
Yep. Now, I don't wait till you get to the rest of it. Hitman 2 is coming out.
Damn.
Fallout 76.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The beta was that close to launch?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Betas are demos now. What world are you living on?
Yeah.
Betas don't mean anything.
I guess.
It's just the test server.
Oh, we should mention, though, that the day one patch for Fallout 76 is bigger than the actual game.
56 gigabytes. What
on the already
fuck?
100 gig download?
No, the game is 46
okay.
or something, and then the patch is 56 gigabytes. It's bigger than the game.
I thought somebody was telling me the download for the beta was like 100
You
gig.
need 100 free space for it to compile. Like,
okay.
The need and
you need more than it actually is.
Yeah, no, I
the same
get it.
thing. Overwatch is having something where like on the next update you have to reinstall the whole game.
That's garbage.
Which like I don't really care that much, but like that's why.
Are they gonna keep putting out Widowmaker reskins until that game is done? Because this is like the third one they have. She looks just like fucking Widowmaker.
Oh, you're saying her appearance?
This lady,
I don't think
her
she
face.
Who else
and
looks like
Sombra's
Widowmaker,
face,
though?
and Sombra and Widowmaker and this girl are all the same face, just put on different bodies.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just so.
I
literally
didn't understand. I just didn't. I thought you were like they
No,
play
she's
the
not
same.
plays
I was
like her.
I was
No,
like,
no,
they're
no.
not
I'm sure
remotely the same.
I'm sure the gameplay's great.
Hammond and
design
Widowmaker are fucking just clones, man. Like,
The design is annoying.
Came out at the right time, dude. Right around the hype, like the
Oh,
peak
Red
of
Dead.
Redemption
They
hype
100%
you got.
set that one up.
They knew what they were doing.
Battlefield 5 comes out this week, and Let's Go
Damn.
Pikachu and Eevee comes out this week.
Fuck, dude, that's a lot of games.
It's a fucking crazy week.
I did not realize that was all this. I can't believe we're already almost halfway through November. My life.
Yeah.
It's just.
So,
Wreckfest would have been coming out on PS4 and Xbox One, but it got delayed indefinitely.
I mean, that's probably good, honestly. Like, if
probably
they ever
needs
want
it.
that game to be successful. But
Yeah.
that brings us to announcements delays. There's not too much announced. We talked about the Xbox XO 2018 stuff. I mean, you can not write that down there. It doesn't matter.
What?
Nothing. I mean, I just said we're not going to do that.
Well, all right then, it's gone.
Black Friday's coming up. I thought we'd talk about it if we're getting anything for Black Friday. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that still, because you guys went like I was just trying to fill time because like.
Am I going out on Black Friday?
I mean,
That's
we
the
ran
real
long
question.
on a couple topics, so we're good.
I'm not going out on Black Friday.
I'm not going out.
online.
I'll do
I'm not an
Cyber
idiot.
Monday
Yeah.
maybe, but I'm not trying to like.
I was getting. I'm getting the. I'm gonna get the new pair. Like.
Oh
PlayStation
fuck! That's what
headphones.
I was gonna get. I'm gonna get a pair of decent headphones. That's not the PlayStation.
What
Gold.
headphones are you getting, Charles?
I'm just gonna get like the Sony Gold ones. They're like super easy.
What are those? I
Like,
just need a new. I need
The
new
one,
headphones.
the ones Aaron has right now, except they're like new, and they're
Sony
wireless.
Gold.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like $40.
It's really nice because like the wireless dongle works with like just about everything.
It's so
like,
easy. It's like the
and the
the
headphone
convenience
jack is
factor
broken on
of
my
it.
laptop, so like I need that kind of.
All right. These look cool.
Like
they're
they still,
comfortable, right?
yeah, they're comfortable. They don't like. They're not like the like high def Dolby surround sound. Fucking, I'm not gonna.
They sound pretty fucking good.
like
though.
they sound
My
fine,
Logitechs are-
but like I mean these Audio Technica sound better. There's like it's indisputable. they sound better.
Yeah,
but, like,
I need two new Audio Technicas too. I've had mine for 7 years.
That's
you
what I was
gotta
gonna get.
Get the wireless ones like this. They're awesome.
I'll do that.
It's so convenient.
I'll just get those. I mean, do these Sony Golds have a headset? Like
Yeah, it has it built in.
This is what I use when I play games.
Like Aaron
How
right
does it
now is
work?
like it could play a game with that. It's awesome. They're really cool.
Is it like built into the
Yep.
here?
There's like a you have
There's
to
like a
charge
little
them, obviously,
hole.
but there's a switch too, and when you're using it on PS4, there's like you can customize like the sound settings to different games that you're playing, which is really
Shit.
cool. So like I set mine up for Red Dead, and like you could hear flies buzzing in your ear and shit. It was
How much
awesome.
do these usually cost? Because
They're
right now they're on
normally
sale
70.
71 on.
Or I think they're
that's
normally
just
100. I'm not sure if I'm.
They're 70 on Amazon. I might pick some up.
I think they're gonna be 40 or 50 at Target on Black Friday. So I'll
All right,
check.
fuck it. I'll go pick them
And I'm
up.
also gonna get FIFA, but that's irregardlessly of this podcast. And then I also think I'm gonna get Banner Saga, the trilogy, on Switch.
Okay. Yeah, you
It's
only
like-
played the first game, right?
It's like $20, yeah.
Oh, and I was gonna pick up Octopath finally.
I'm gonna go use the restroom.
Jesus
Second.
Christ, you guys have fucking
Dude,
Second
baby
I
half
drank
member.
this big old coffee.
child bladders.
Give me a fucking minute. It's burning my insides. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, that brings us to fuck. You can't do the timestamp. Damn it. What we have been playing, Aaron. If you want to talk about Castlevania, or we can just talk about whatever, man. Well, how you been?
I've been good. I mean, we can talk. Well, I want to talk about Red Dead.
You watched
too,
you
but-
watched any movies recently? You see anything?
I did. What the fuck did I? Well, no, I watched the Castlevania, so I'll just talk about Castlevania. What?
Did you? No. We're gonna talk about fucking Adam Sandler's stand-up special. Did you?
I did not watch that. I
Certified
want to.
Fresh. It's funny as fuck, dude.
I can't believe that's actually good.
It's so funny. It's like it's not as like Bo Burnham's like stand-up. It's very musically based too.
Mhm.
So like you got to be ready.
So he's
for
going
that,
back to his
but-
roots, dude. Adam Sandler was always the guitar guy.
Yeah,
making
100%.
funny noises.
And it's like very much like it's like Bo Burnham's jokes are usually a lot more like biting and like kind of have a social commentary to them, like to a certain degree. Like they're not like fucking highfalutin anything, but like
And
they're
dude,
like
Bo Burnham is like he's I feel like a different person than he was when I knew about him in high school. Like,
oh,
at least-
100%. I mean, everybody grows up; they change stuff.
Yeah.
But with Adam Sandler, it's that kind of comedy, but like in the silliest, goofiest, like just dumbest way possible, and it's like, but it's really funny.
Well, and sometimes that's like just the best.
It's
idea.
so
If you're-
endearing. is
Right.
the
It's
way I
it's nice to just fucking turn your brain off and not have to like
That's
think about the
100% what
politics
it
behind
is.
a joke. Like just be able to sit
Yep.
there and like laugh at goofy
that
slapstick.
there
shit.
is no. There's like one or two jokes where he broaches like a serious kind of topic,
Yeah.
but like it's fucking fantastic.
And not shitting on that type of like that obviously has its place too, and it's
Oh,
important,
obviously,
but,
yeah, but yeah. I didn't want you to go in like me hyping it up and thinking like, oh, he's gonna have something to say about Trump, and I was like, no, he is not at all.
Speaking of that, did you see the protester that like in France that like ran in front of the?
Oh yeah, she was
motorcade?
naked, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Good
you,
for her.
That was awesome. Yeah, good for her. I'm trying to topless protest Trump with me.
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
I'm down for it.
Be
Aaron,
awesome.
David, are you in when he puts his headphones back on? I'm gonna keep talking until he puts them back on. David, are you in?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, sick. All right. I was selling Aaron on the Adam Sandler stand-up special.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. I might watch it tonight, actually.
Do it, man. Do it.
I'll
Caleb
put it
thought it
on
was funny
my
too.
actually.
Caleb thought it was funny. But that brings us to what we have been playing. We were vamping because I don't have the timestamps ready, so I couldn't do them. So that brings us to what we have been playing. And David, I know you've been reviewing Tetris Effect. I know I played it last week. I wasn't so hot on it, but I think you're a lot more hot on it.
Yeah, the demo I wasn't really that high on either, and I mostly think it's because I'm like not good at Tetris, or at least I wasn't. I think I'm like a B tier player of Tetris now. Like I've probably played like 5 or 6 hours, and I kind of got because I'm always doing the where do you build your well, CJ? What side do you build
Right
on?
side.
Okay, I build my well on the right side too.
The fact that you guys
So-
have this like terminology and strategy. When I was a kid and I played Tetris, I just slammed shit where it fit.
Right.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, like right side is like actually. I'm not good enough to like play at a high level where it really matters, but like
That's
that
where they
is, like,
do
how
it.
you're
At least in
supposed
classic. I think in the really old games, and then in the newer games, the right side well is best. But in some
then
of the
well-
middle games, it got like where the left was for some reason better because
The
of
right-
the way that.
to.
Sorry, I think it's just the way that the spin priority works, and because NES Tetris, the blocks would fall on the right side. So when you reached a certain point, I don't know. I read about it.
The,
It was
well, the way it works in like pro, if you're like an actual pro, you start with the well on the right side, and then when it pops up like to going like when it's like at max speed, you want it to be in the middle actually.
okay,
The way it
yeah,
works,
middle
like,
well.
so.
Yeah,
The
So
well.
I've
If you don't know,
learned-
the well is where you're trying to put the long L.
the eye blocks. Yeah. Because
To get a
Tetris, you have to clear 4 lines at once. So essentially, what you do is you leave one row on your right side of the screen empty, and you build a flat stack up the whole left, and then you drop your eye blocks down into the right to get your Tetrises. I have the hardest time with J and L blocks. I just can't like fucking figure like the ones that's like 3 long and then 1 on the bottom.
I know what they are. Yeah.
I have a really hard time like visualizing where I'm gonna put those, and I almost never have like a setup where I can easily slot them. So I'm still plus like the zigzag blocks. I'm having a hard time sometimes realizing which way they can fit based on when they appear. So I'm still learning like if a block is facing this way, it can fit into this kind of space. You know, like I always get it backwards, and then I'm like fucked. I'm like, oh no, it can't go there.
So on Tetris Effect, are the different blocks colored, like coordinated?
No, they're not colored.
Okay.
I think that
fucks you up a little bit. Yeah,
that's mainly my problem.
Because like then you can like visualize in your mind like, oh, the red zigzag blocks I can always stack to the left side.
There's a mode where they're colored. Like there's a stage where they're all colored classically. So maybe I'll start out on that, and I'll practice on that for a little while longer, and then I'll go in and just do by shape.
How so on the demo they had a bunch of like settings you could fill it out. What is the standard game? Can you hold blocks, or how does that work?
You can hold 1 block.
Okay.
So a hold.
And how far can you see down your list, like of upcoming blocks?
You can set it up to like 5.
Well, I'm saying like what's the standard like? On this
default is 1, but it doesn't change your score or anything to play with like more visible. So.
Okay.
I only play with 1 because it's confusing if I have more than that.
Nah, you should start playing with 5, like for real. Like it helps.
Really? All right, I'll
because you can start setting out like if you know you have 2 like L or like.
You can build a rectangle.
You can build and then like you have a 4 block in the middle. Like it's like I don't know.
Okay.
I really like Tetris.
Yeah, I'm really getting into it. And I want you to like teach me how you play because I'm still getting the hang of it. I've gotten so like the way that the game is set up is there are worlds of like 4 or 5 areas. And each area is like a beautiful, like fully rendered, like thematic experience. Like there's one that's like it starts out like in a forest and it's all dark, right? And it's like raining. So there's like the pitter patter of rain and some like trees that are silhouetted, and your blocks are kind of making little splashing sounds when you clear lines. And then it breaks into like this dawn, and like the clouds break and like birds start flying around like towards the end of the stage. So they're all like themed like that, and there's like 4 or 5 of those totally different themed stages in a world. My main goal right now is beating a world without topping out. So I've done that on all of them. I'm on the last world now. And then your score is usually good enough if you've gotten some Tetrises to get like a B rank or so. So that's like what I'm shooting for right now. It's tough though, because some of the stages, like I just played on one that was like a native islander themed, like there were like tiki torches and like there was like a volcano that goes off at the end, and your speed goes up to 12 for like 12 line clears, and I was just like scrambling. But the good news is you have something called zoning, which you build up a meter when you clear lines, and then you can stop time, and you can drop tetronymos like without them falling. And if you clear so many lines during the zone, they all clear at once, and you can boost your score a lot doing that. That's only in the adventure mode, I think. There are some other like challenge modes that I really enjoyed. Like there's like an endless one, and there's like a 300 line clear. There's a timed attack challenge, and there's like an infection, and like all these different like modes that you can play for high score. CJ, your main problem was that there's no head-to-head.
Yeah, so there's no head-to-head. Like the way I like to play Tetris is like the traditional like head-to-head, or not traditional, the more like modern head-to-head mode, where like if you are playing head-to-head against somebody, you have the exact same like layout coming down.
It's
on
a
top
C.
of you.
Yeah.
But like the way it works is like so if I get a Tetris like in my game, I lose 4 blocks and I put like 4 blocks on your screen. So like it fucks you up. So like the way like how you want to hold all your Tetrises until like if you can pop them with like 2 Tetrises right at once, like you're holding eye block and like you have an eye block like ready to go.
Yeah.
So you just fuck it like there's like a gamble and like a kind of like a strategy to it to when you want to throw down like Tetrises, and like if you want to like because if you just keep getting like 1 blocks, you're like throwing 1 on them, but that's not like but if you can
is it like Puyo Puyo where like they drop?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
How do you put them?
No, they don't drop. They come from the bottom. So your tower you still have is like still intact.
Oh, so they just go straight up?
Yeah,
like,
they make your stack just rises 4 blocks. And then if you get a Tetris, that 4 blocks go away.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never played like that before.
That's like
I mean, it's possible that
the
they'll,
more
like,
modern
amend this to
competitive
have
version.
that, but I think this is more supposed to be just like a Zen.
Yeah, this is not
like,
that kind of game, which I completely
meditative,
get, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. So this game is $40, which I thought was really high. But after playing it, I think that's like a totally reasonable price for this. Because, one, the soundtrack is fucking incredible. It has some of the best sound mixing I've ever heard in a game. It has dynamic sounds for spinning and dropping and scoring. It has beautiful visuals. I'm sure it's amazing in VR. I don't have a VR headset, but I'm still loving it. It's a game that I will literally come back to forever and just play because Tetris is amazing, and this is by far probably the best single-player rendition of Tetris that exists. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I'm definitely going to score it like a 9 out of 10. My review won't be up until like Wednesday, but that's where my heart is right now, and I have a hard time seeing that change from now until then. And everyone is ignoring what I'm having to say.
No, I'm listening to you.
I'm listening. I'm watching gameplay of it like while you're talking.
It's just funny. You guys were like just looking down.
I know. I'm 100% listening to what you're doing.
Okay,
But I just want to say,
Aaron.
as someone who just spent 10 minutes talking about WoW on a video game podcast, that was the nerdiest conversation we've ever had.
What,
I love
Tetris?
Tetris.
Yeah,
Man.
that was
Why?
some fucking nerd
Tetris
shit. Talking
is
about your
top 10 game of all
wells,
time.
your fucking...
Whatever.
When I get my
Tetris is like
Tetris
an
in my
all-time
clear,
classic.
You're
the
making
pitter
it-
patter
you're
of the
making-
rain.
Don't fucking appreciate Tetris, dude. That's like a game anybody can enjoy.
Well, a game not everybody can enjoy is Red Dead Redemption 2. So what do you
I gotta change my blind.
God damn, you're killing me, bro.
Fuck your timestamps, dude.
I know, man. What the fuck? All right, you just want to talk about Castlevania right now? Oh, he's back.
Okay.
All right.
I do want to talk about
Here.
Castlevania.
Red
That
Dead.
was so dark.
Red Dead timestamps. What do we got, David?
So, what is spoiler? Like, how
If you guys
what
just
is
want
the
to
line
like
for...
tap me in like 5 minutes, I'll do that if you want.
I don't want to do a spoiler cast this soon, even.
I don't want to do a spoiler cast, but like the
You
one
guys
thing I
wanna
want to
talk-
talk about
alright.
is there's no way to say it without spoiling the entire game.
All right, I'm gonna not listen for 5 minutes. Okay, text me when you guys are done. All right.
Well, my question though is, do we even want to broach
Yes,
that
just
on this
preface-
I don't
podcast?
think I want to. That game came out, dude.
Who
The average
cares?
person has not beaten that game.
So what?
Yeah, I don't think I want to because like that's
Because
a long fucking game. So
I wouldn't want to listen to a podcast where
And,
they're
like,
spoiling
I-
a game that I had not.
I guess.
beaten.
All right. Never mind.
For the audience, like
Well,
not
I
for
mean,
us.
it's not like you're just flippantly throwing it out. Like you're setting up that, like, yeah, we're about to talk about something spoilery.
That's right. We'll do a spoiler cast and we'll talk
It's
about
too.
it.
It's just too soon. I
we'll
would
do-
rather talk about
You
like,
guys,
what we think.
you guys
is
will have
the
it both done by
experience.
Thanksgiving, right? We can do it. You
I'm
guys can do a
done.
spoiler
We're both
cast.
done, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys can do a spoiler cast then, like, and we'll put it out.
Yeah,
All
we'll
Yeah.
do it like next week. It's fine.
right. Well,
But Aaron, do you have anything else that you want to add on to your experience of Red Dead?
Just
from
that
last time?
even the things that I hated about it in the beginning, the game somehow found a way to, and I kind of touched on this before, but it found a way to bring it back around and make, not necessarily enjoy it, but like forget about it, I guess is the best way to say it. Like I just like none of it mattered to me anymore once I got into the game because I just loved the overall experience so much. And some of the mechanics I initially didn't like, I found myself. It's weird because it didn't happen all at once. Like, wow, this is actually really fun now, and I like this. It's just I found myself engaging in it in a way
Yeah.
that like I didn't think I would, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, you know what, this is like cool, and it's like I understand how this is part of the experience, and it adds to the overall game. The only thing that I will say, still having finished the game, is entirely pointless, is the morality thing, and there's an argument there for the other side of it that it kind of like just puts the central narrative in perspective, like depending on how you choose to act. But my argument against that is the main narrative is the same no matter how you choose to play. And if you play it one way, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't fit with the narrative.
Yeah.
And if you play it the other way, it does. So like,
Yeah.
I think it exists. The intention was to kind of give the player some agency over how they approach the world, but I don't really think that makes sense until the final third of the game, if you know what I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
I understand what you mean, and I agree with that now, having played it all. I think, and having like seen the endings and stuff, like I think it's there to incentivize you to be a more moral player, so that this story makes sense.
Yeah, but then the story itself forces you to not be that, and I get why they do that because
I understand. Yeah.
it's Red Dead Redemption. It's a redemption story. You're bad in the beginning by
Yeah.
nature, but
I
like
wish that the morality wasn't in the game at all.
Yeah,
Like, I agree.
the game would be better without it. I think it's there to give the player agency, but I think honestly knowing that it's there takes away from that.
You can
Like,
also just ignore it, which is what I've started.
and I
to
did,
do.
but the
Just
fact every time I saw it, it's like fuck, this is a thing I don't necessarily have to worry about, but like because of the way I
it's
play
that
video games, I
tinge
felt
of,
like I had to.
Hey, you're a bad person. if you
Like
do
it was to the point that if I did anything that reduced my honor, I would literally just load a save. I lost hours of gameplay doing that a couple times.
Yeah, see, I've started. Well, I'm in like the post game now, but now I'm just kind of like I don't fucking.
The post game, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I don't think it matters at all in the post game either. It's just I don't even know why it's there, but like whatever. Yeah, I think the thing that made this game stand out the most to me over something like God of War, which God of War is way more fun to play, like hands down, more fun to play.
See, I don't even. This is fun in a different way. From a gameplay perspective, yeah, God of War is 100% more fun.
It's fun in the sense that like you can lose yourself in it and feel satisfied doing the most mundane shit.
Yeah.
Like skinning an animal and just putting it on your horse is very satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, of course, cutting a guy's head off with an axe is also really cool, but you didn't work as hard for it as you do doing anything in
Man,
Red
some
Dead.
of those fights are pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, that's true. But Red Dead like makes you work for everything that you get. And so it's satisfying in like a way that most games aren't. And I also really think this game has more integrity than like almost any other AAA game that's come out in recent memory because it didn't bend itself to the will of like what they thought people were really going to enjoy. They took a really big gamble making the game like this.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they knew it was going to sell. Rockstar knows their games are going to sell really well, but is this going to hurt people's impression of their games? Like, is this going to impact... Like, because a lot of people don't like it, and I think that's a good thing. Like, and that's a good thing. But, like, there's a big split because some people who are, like, want an instant gratification, like GTA 5, and, like, just want to fuck shit up, aren't really getting that experience because of how plotting the game is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's a statement to the kind of vision that they had. This is a game with serious, like, gumption to just be away
Gosh.
and not, to use the most Red Dead term I possibly can.
I was
Looked up from a
like,
trance
come on.
when you said gumption.
And that's awesome to me, and I think that games can still have a really big impact on people's perception of what it means to be a fun video game, and that's
Yeah, good
exciting.
for them for sticking to their...
Because, I mean, I don't want to throw shade at, like, other open world games, but, like, Ubisoft obviously has a very strict, like, not a strict formula, but they know how to make a game, you know, dopamine hit every, like, few minutes, right? This game doesn't follow that structure at all. This game is just like, hey, this game's fucking, you're just a dirty man stumbling through the world and fucking shit up, and it's really slow and boring sometimes, but that's just how it is, and that's cool.
And so just a quick kind of overview of how I feel about the game. It definitely made it into like my list of favorite games of all time. Like this is an instant classic. It's going to go down in history as one of the best open world games of all time.
I agree.
That being said, I think God of War is still my game of the year, just because God of War doesn't have the same drawbacks that I think Red Dead Redemption does.
I'm still torn, and I agree. Like I've like had times in Red Dead where I get frustrated with like the controls being a little slow, like the game feel isn't.
Like if we're
supposed to
being
be that
honest, the
great, but,
combat
like,
in Red Dead is like not good. It's
I
like
think turning
okay.
off snap aiming helps not make it suck.
See, I think that's the only thing that makes it playable is the snap.
Really.
It's
See,
like
I don't know.
bats
I
and
go back
Fallout,
and
kind of.
It's
like
the
you need it to play
shooting
the
is
game.
not
Just
good, but
LR,
that's just
LR,
Rockstar.
LR,
Yeah.
and then you win the game.
Yeah.
But I agree. Yeah, the combat's not great, but yeah, I'm like back and forth on it. I say God of War one day and then Red Dead the other.
Like,
day.
and
So
I was
I'll-
comparing them in my head, and it's like because those are my two contenders for Game of the Year, and like I was torn, but like I'll think about God of War, and then I'll think about like the combat in God of War, and then I'll think about the combat in Red Dead, and it's like they don't really compare. And then I'll think about the pacing of the story, which I understand that the Red Dead was paced very deliberately, but I think because of the way they introduced the controls at the same time, the beginning was fucking
Painful?
kind of not great. It was like
Yeah, no, it sucked.
painful to get through. It made it even worse. So,
Yeah.
And again, God of War doesn't have that. That all of the mechanics were introduced beautifully. The combat is incredible. The world is incredible.
I still think God of War will be my game of the year, but Red Dead is for certain like a fantastic game.
I think narratively, Red Dead is better than God of War, and
I
the
agree.
world is better than God of War. But overall, God of War is a better game, I think.
Yeah. But that's the other thing too, is that God of War just does things that other games have already done, but does them all really well. Whereas Red Dead 2 is kind of what does God of War bring to the table?
Like,
that's
I mean, like,
wow,
terms
that's
of
innovative.
in terms of like Like,
the axe was incredible. That was like a.
I mean, like from a gameplay feel, it was great, but like I'm just saying from a pure like storytelling perspective, I think it better than any game besides like maybe The Last of Us was able to keep me engaged like while I was actually doing stuff. Than like
So you're saying the pacing was very
like
nice.
like
I agree on that. Yeah.
But like not even just the like having like whenever you get into the boat, have him tell you a story, or like have him constantly like or what's his name?
And we saw that in Red Dead. It just doesn't work as well.
Like it's like they like yes, I guess it's not innovative because games have tried to do it before, but like it is crazy how much better it does it than every other game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that it does things that games do. It just does them super fantastically, which is fine. I'm not saying that that's like a knock against it or anything.
Like I think that's a bigger deal than doing something like innovative just for the sake of innovation, in my opinion.
I don't think Red Dead 2 is trying to be innovative for the sake of innovation.
I don't know
just
that
think
it
that
is
Red Dead
terribly
2
innovative.
has the open world though, and like the systems.
But that's something that it's just they
yeah,
did
like
it really
games
well.
games have open worlds, like yeah.
There is no other game where you can follow an NPC all day long, and they're doing things that logically would make sense in their life to be doing.
I mean,
like,
there's no
like.
What we're saying though is that's the same argument you just made. It's open worlds like that have been done before. They're just doing it really well.
Yeah.
That's not.
But I'm saying that like the way that you engage with like the world is different in Red Dead 2 than you do in other games.
I mean, the way you engage with characters during like fight scenes and during just your general travel in God of War is different than every other game, like pretty much.
I'd say maybe the AI in Red Dead is incredibly innovative because like the way the AI overall just interacts with you in the world in Red Dead is unlike anything I've ever seen for sure.
I guess all I'm trying to say is that the fact that Red Dead is like so weird like makes it more special to me, but I still don't think it's a better like game. I think I like God of War more as a game, but I don't know. It's hard to like put into words. Like,
right, and one of the things we forget about with Red Dead, I think, is the fucking glitches. For some reason, in the Red Dead games, they add so much character and like so much to the experience that it's like we almost forget about the fact that those are just problems in the game. But sometimes they...
Yeah, the reason Bethesda gets shit on it well, I guess they don't get shit on it, kind of. But I don't know. Like, I was going to say, like, because they're not, like, number one in, like, at least in Red Dead 1, like, they weren't, like... The game wasn't a glitch.
They're not game-breaking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but, like, when, like, I don't know.
When they happened, they were, like, hilarious. They just, like, they add... It's a story, I guess. It's, like... The biggest one I noticed is, you know that mountain that has the camp that gets burnt down? Mm-hmm. That you pass over fucking hundreds of times.
Yeah.
There's a spot on that mountain where as you're rounding that turn, it would just suck my horse up the side of the mountain and then drop me back down every single time I went through there.
What the fuck? I haven't experienced any like weird glitches like that.
It was literally every time I had to go over that mountain, so I'd see it coming and be like, fuck, I have to try to not die when I fucking go over this with my horse.
What the fuck? That never happened to me. That's super weird.
It was obnousous. But, like
I've had a few little, like, visual things, like, during cutscenes be weird. But,
see, and I didn't have any visual hiccups. Like, I was, like, Greg on one of the Kind of Funny podcasts was talking about how, like, he walked into a bar or something, and like, all of the stuff that goes on the tables was there, but the tables weren't there. Oh, so it was all just, like, floating. Like I've never had anything like that.
I've just had cutscenes like cut in weird ways. Like somebody edited badly, but I think it was just the game like kind of getting confused on like a loading priority. But I don't know, dude. It's so hard for me to like explain. I agree. I think God of War is a fucking fantastic game. And honestly, probably the most innovative thing it did was the one shot the whole game. That was crazy, and that's something worth mentioning again.
I was gonna bring that up, but like I didn't want to.
So much more engaging.
I imagine we're not going to have like a Game of the Year podcast anyway.
I don't honestly. Yeah, we should save that. We can save this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it again. And
Spider-Man too, man. Spider-Man. I gotta say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's in there, yeah. But
I need to. Play
it's kind of loose, but I'm a fan of Spider-Man. Aaron, you're getting Castlevania the collection. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I was going to get Castlevania Requiem, and it's 100% because I just finished the Castlevania anime, and it made me want to play it.
Yeah.
I feel like the anime did a really good job of like turning the characters from these games into like anime characters while still having their like video game roots. Like the way Alucard moves around in the anime, like looks dead on what he looks like in the game, like that red teleport thing you can do. Thought that was really cool. It got me. Like the last time I played a Castlevania game was when I was a little kid, and it like made me nostalgic for those games. And I think Requiem just recently came out, didn't it?
Yeah,
on PS4?
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
So, like, hearing about Requiem and then watching this around the same time is like, you know what? Maybe it's time to go back and play those games. And Symphony of the Night is supposed to be, like, one of the best, if not the best, Castlevania game. Right.
I think it's one of the best games ever.
Right.
I think it's one of the 10 out of 10s.
Like, I think, like, it is, like, in the discussion we were just having, it's, like, super influential and, like, innovative and stuff like that. I honestly don't like think it's the best of that genre, to be told. I think like more modern Metroidvanias are like more interesting.
Of course, like it's
but like I mean not like I don't know, of course, like I feel like there's plenty of games that like hold up to a certain degree, like
Hollow Knight innovates on that really well.
But like I think
there are better Metroidvanias, but I think it's like
go ahead.
I guess I judge it for its time, like what it did for the genre, and also like I think it has a really good aesthetic and an amazing soundtrack, and that helps.
Okay.
I've also heard that Symphony of the Night is like one of the most accessible ones. Like it's
super not hard. Like
right.
I think it's too easy. Like that's my biggest complaint about it is that it's too easy.
Also, something I thought was cool about it is evidently it picks up literally exactly where Rondo ends. Like it's the first fight of Symphony is the last fight of Rondo.
Yeah, I couldn't beat Rondo because I'm a fucking scrub. I got like 4 levels in and I'm like, this is too hard. Fuck this.
Yeah.
The quick save is super weird in that game, so just be aware, I guess.
I also heard the port isn't great, but
the port's fine. The ports are like very
the overall like case it comes in.
The special. Forget any kind of extra features. You're just getting the games. That's the problem. But if you haven't played them before, like me, I think it's totally worth buying because the games are great. Just the port's not great.
And like I'm in a kind of in between period right now because I just finished Red Dead, so like this is the perfect time to play something like that.
Yeah. No, you should, and it's a really good Halloween game too. So I'm glad I got on it for October. But it's like not...
Speaking of Halloween, watch fucking Haunting of Hill House.
I'm 3 episodes in.
It's so good.
Behind on everything. I'm trying to watch all the. There's like a bunch of Indonesian and South Korean films I'm trying to catch up on Netflix that I didn't know about until recently.
Sure. Adam Sandler's stand-up comedy special.
And I'll also watch Adam Sandler. There's that.
100% fresh. But this has been the Current Game Podcast, episode 78, or 79 or 78? Fuck.
I
think it's 78. I think it's 78. My name's Charles Blades. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Tula and on Instagram at Charles Tula, hashtag Charles19reviews. I just put up one for Bohemian Rhapsody and Vince Staples' album, so if you want to check that out. Aaron, where can people find you?
Aaron M. Weeks on Twitter.
And David?
By Guy Dave on Twitter.
You can find us at all this cool stuff down here. And this has been episode 78 of the Current Game Podcast. And peace.